Hey there, my friend. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Mazi, and today I want to talk about something a little different. Recently, I switched from just playing video games to actually making video games. Just a little bit about me first. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so I have a little bit of background in programming and everything related to that. And one of my part-time jobs includes me having to do some coding as well in Python and a little bit of Visual Basic and things like that. But the area I'm most knowledgeable in is C++ and object-oriented programming. So just to put that out there, I have some background in programming, so you aren't like, where's this guy coming from? So as you can see, this channel is my gaming channel. This one I primarily focus on. I have other channels, but I'm not too active on them. But I really want to focus and double down on this channel because it is something I feel more passionate about. I love playing games, and I recently rediscovered Unreal Engine. I had seen Unreal Engine like 2 years ago, watching Corridor Crew's videos where they used Unreal Engine to make videos and backgrounds, virtual environments, and so on. But I didn't click at the time how powerful it is for video games. I know that sounds stupid, but that's the reality. So I was just looking through my YouTube feed one day, and then I saw this like make games with Unreal Engine. Well, actually, even before that, I started seeing YouTube shorts by PirateSoftware, and this got me like really curious and motivated. Thor is such a motivational speaker that he like made me believe that yes, I can make games. I watched his whole on his website there's a 54-minute or 49-minute video of him talking about just make games, and that completely changed my mindset. Like watching his shorts made me motivated, but after that I was like, after watching this 54-minute video, I was like, no, I gotta do something about this. So that's what I did. I sat down, installed Unreal Engine 5, waited for a few hours for it to download because my internet is slow where I live. We're talking like 8 megabits per second down and 4 megabits per second up. So everything takes a little bit longer. Uploading videos, downloading assets and things like that takes some time. But all things aside, so I downloaded Unreal Engine and Googled. Well, actually, I had a look at another guy's channel where he started learning Unreal Engine and he made a game in like 2 weeks. I'll put the video title on the screen now. I forgot the guy's channel name. I'll see if I can find it, but I'll put it up on the screen when I'm editing. But this made me like change my perspective a little bit. Like, this guy wasn't trying to do something crazy or something out of this world. It was very realistic, and that's something that I feel a lot of creators on YouTube lack. The realism in tackling projects. And also, as someone who is working full-time already, we don't have a lot of time to learn stuff. We don't have 5 hours a day we can dedicate to learning and doing, but he made it seem manageable, and that's the part that got me interested. It's manageable, it's doable. Challenge yourself, but don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself. So I thought, he's right. I'm not gonna try and make my dream game right away. That's something you'll hear, and you've probably heard a lot. Don't try to go make your dream game right away. And initially I was tempted to do that because I have what I think is a great game idea It's based on a short novel that I wrote a few years ago, and it's set in a fictional South African town on the Wild Coast, but I'll talk about that in the future. But I I wrote down the scope a little bit and so on. This is going to be totally out of my reach. So I thought for a little bit of a game idea that I could implement in a relatively short time, 3 months, but then later I thought it might probably take 6 months. So yeah, after having this mindset change, and after watching a few videos of people learning Unreal Engine, not in the, like, I learned Unreal Engine in 1 month and made a game that made $10,000 or $20,000. Now, I looked at the guys who were realistic. Realistic for someone who's just starting out, who's never made a game before, and who wants to learn to make games in their spare time, besides working a full-time job, of course. And that's where I started. So I went, looked at this guy's channel, and then I did the same thing that he did. Yeah, so I just forgot the name. It's Jack Sather, I think. Jack Sather. And he made this video 4 months ago saying, I made a game in Unreal Engine in 14 days, no experience. So that's why it got started. And in this video, he recommended the YouTube channel Unreal Sensei. And that guy is such a good instructor. He's got a lot of Unreal Engine content and really well structured, well explained. He doesn't dumb things down too much. He explains it in the simple terms that you can understand why you're doing something, and that's really important. One thing that you must not do if you're starting to learn game development is don't just blindly follow what tutorials are showing you. Try and understand the why. Why are they doing it like this? Oh, if I change this variable value a little bit, what's the effect? If I do this custom event this way, or put the for loop here, not for loop, the branch, but the same thing in Unreal Engine. If I put the branch here, or if I use the not, or what if I do this and this? So experiment alongside watching tutorials, So do the tutorials, but change them. Change the variable names at least, change the default values they put in, things like that. And that helped me learn a lot of things, as opposed to just following blindly. So I watched this tutorial by Unreal Sensei and was really, really good, gave a very good overview of Unreal Engine. And after this, I went over and followed a tutorial by Gorka Games. And this was a third-person character, as opposed to the first-person that the Unreal Sensei video was. I did this to have two different instructors, two different teaching styles, to see which one I preferred. And a lot of times instructors who are teaching you the same thing or similar things will include different bits of information that the other one maybe has missed, and that helps you to give you a better overview of what things are about, how to do things in the engine in this case. So if you want to get started, I'd suggest starting with Unreal Sensei. He gives you a very good overview, and there is a brilliant 5-hour long tutorial that'll teach you everything you need to know about Unreal Engine to get started and have a beautiful project to show at the end of it. Okay, that being said, back to me. So I started off with those tutorials, followed along, edited them slightly to put my own spin on things, used my own sound assets and my own environment, etc. And then I started watching more tutorials, and just started following a lot of indie game developers, looking at devlogs, looking how other people with full-time jobs are progressing on their games, just to put myself in the right frame of mind, you know, to see what would be realistic progress. And so I started learning back in June. I think it was the 1st of June actually, where I downloaded the engine and opened it up for the first time and did something. So that's when I started. So now we're on the 2nd of August as of recording this video. So we've got almost exactly 2 months of learning. And I was keeping track of the time I spent watching tutorials, watching game devlogs, and actually developing things, acquiring assets and downloading things and playing around. And up to now I've spent about 50 hours, I'd say 50 hours, like combination learning and like developing things. And the most recent one is the first game I actually like completed by myself was this game, Shadow Morph. I call it Shadow Morph or Shadow Morphosis, whichever you want. And this was for the PirateSoftware game jam. Like, it finished just 2 days ago, and I was a bit late to the party. I joined the game jam like early, like before it started, but I was like so busy. I only started developing the game with 6 days left. So this game jam was 2 weeks long, and only started on it by myself with 6 days left. And boy, was it close. On the last day, and when I wanted to submit it, I didn't find an easy way to make a build for the browser in Unreal Engine. So I was able to find this third-party service by, I think it's Arc Games or Arc Software, where you upload your game to them, and then they provide you a link where someone can open the link in the browser, and they like host the game, and then the person plays it via streaming. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I just found it with like 30 minutes to go, and I was able to upload it, and put the link in an HTML file that was able to play in the browser on itch.io. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure if that counts as playing in the browser, but yeah, I didn't have options. So yeah, if I get disqualified or whatever, it's fine. I have a game. I also uploaded the desktop version, like the non-browser version, where you can download the actual game files and install it on your computer. It's there on itch if you want to have a look at it. I'll put the link in the description. And yeah, I am very proud of this first game that I made. It is not fancy. It is not complicated. It's by no means perfect. It has a lot of quirks, if you can put it that way. Everything works, and you can beat the game as it is. It's not the easiest game to play. The camera is a little bit iffy. It's not so great, but it's a completed game. It's a completed game that I made from scratch. And how I did it was I started, so the theme was shadows and alchemy. So I spent a few weeks trying to think of something interesting to come up with it, but given my limited programming skills now and my relatively limited knowledge in Unreal Engine, I just decided, okay, I'm going to do a simple maze with a few what I call flowers of light that you need to heal with potions that you gather in the maze. The potions spawn randomly, and the enemies spawn randomly, and the enemies are called the Children of the Shadows. And this was a character I got off Mixamo, and all the animations here are from Mixamo. They're really, really good to use, and they are free. You can use them in commercial releases as well, I checked. And yeah, this is the end result. I struggled a lot with like interfacing between different classes of objects that is something I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And there are easy ways to do it, but it is not as efficient a way to do it as using blueprint interfaces, for example, or using event dispatchers. So my goal is to learn how to improve on my programming practices. I saw my time was going to run out, so I just said, like, no, stuff it. I'm just going to go get something working. At least it might not be the best practice, or it might be very heavy computationally speaking, but yeah, I got it working in the end. It was very, very stressful, but very enjoyable. I also learned a lot, and I also came up with a lot of what I think are creative solutions to very specific problems that I had to solve in the game, speaking programming wise. And yeah, I'm very proud of what I've made. And just thinking that I started learning this new software that is very huge, very complex, and has a steep learning curve, I'm very proud of what I was able to do. Like, it ain't pretty, it ain't very good, but I made it, and it's honest work. It ain't much, but it's honest work. And it was fun, and that's the important thing of learning. Make it fun, make something you like. And while I was learning these last 2 months, I already started working on what I want to be my first commercial game that I want to release on Steam, hopefully by the end of this year. It's a bit of a optimistic timeline, but we'll see how it goes. So I had a game idea that I derived from my dream game idea, and I started writing down some things I wanted, and it's interesting to see how over a few weeks it changed completely. As I got better and better ideas, wrote down more ideas, my game idea evolved a lot into the state that it is now. And I'll be posting some devlogs of this game that I'm developing on this channel in the next few days or so. I'm still trying to get something to show, at least, something that's not just blank. I've progressed quite a lot so far, and I'll show you a little sneak peek here in this video. But yeah, so I made the landscape, messed it up, deleted it, made another landscape, messed it up, messed up the foliage, deleted it. I accidentally deleted the project file. I wasn't able to recover it, so I had to start from scratch again. Then I wasn't happy with the materials that I was using, so I went off on a tangent to see how I can make my own layered materials. And yeah, eventually came up with something I liked. It's a 5-layer material that you can paint by layers, and I think it's quite nice. So we've got wet sand, trampled sand, we've got grassy soil, we've got forest floor, and then also a rocky cliff. So I'm using that as the base for my landscape texturing, and then as time goes on, I'll dial it in with mega scans and rock assets and tree assets and so on. Right now, I'm focusing on just getting the basic layout of the island set up and having the basic structures in place, just to orient myself spatially in the game, and yeah, just get a basic layout of where things are. So that's what I'm working on right now. I've got my player character movement sorted. I've got basic enemy AI sorted. The biggest challenge, I think, is going to be implementing the animation for my enemy. It's a complex one to sort out, and I am learning Blender animation. I've got a bit of experience in Blender, modeling architectural things and objects and landscape things, but animation I know nothing of. So that's another thing I'm learning. And thank you, Polyfjord, for your awesome channel. That's where I'm learning it from, and I think he's going to be my savior. Yeah, and that's about it. So to summarize the whole video, I started learning Unreal Engine on the 1st of June, came up with a game idea, watched a few tutorials, worked along with them, completed the tutorial projects, and started on my own game idea. And you need to make a game that you love playing or you love making. Don't make your ultra fantastic dream game right away, but come up with an idea or a spin-off of or a basic version of that dream game. Work on that, and you will learn so much from it. And do a game jam. It forces you to think outside of the box. It forces you to work in a tight time frame, and you will learn a lot in that time, I guarantee you. And thank you so much for listening to my rambling. And if you like this video, please subscribe, hit the like button, and even if you didn't like it, you can give it a thumbs down and let me know what you'd like to see me improve in the future. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, this is me, Mozzie.